that some of the important things which we should take is the urban land use planning should be integral part of the air quality management now. Otherwise, the situation will not improve. The land use planning should be done, which is in Delhi, what are the problem we are facing because the proper land use planning is not there. Action plan to be drawn and implemented by states to meet the air quality standard in time-bound manner. Action plans have been prepared already, but the implementation is not there. Air quality has to be monitored continuously to see the impact on control measures. Health impact study are required to be done so that the public should be given more information about what are the impact, what are the health effect impacts that is required. Integrated approach has to be taken for vehicular pollution control in major cities. You can not only control the, say, petrol-driven vehicles or two-wheelers, you have to take an integrated approach. For that, the studies done by CPCB on source apportionment is very important. Then clean transportation fuel should be promoted in a big way, like the CNG and biodiesel, etc., which the government has very specific policy. Then fly ash generated from thermal power stations should be utilized as far as possible. That is another big challenge we have. We are generating now 150 million tons of fly ash in the country. Clean coal technology to be promoted. Air pollution due to DG sets are very important and should be controlled. Inspection and maintenance program for in-use vehicle emission control to be strengthened. And all the SSI units, the small scale sectors, a large number of control is required. So this, with this, I am just closing my presentation. And during the discussion time, if you have any questions and clarification, I'll be too pleased to answer. Thank you very much. Yeah.
So how the state personal group can in position to implement that action plan in true sense?
Okay.
Since implementing it is a different, sir.
Yeah. Now the city-specific action plan have been prepared in consultation with State Pollution Control Board. The State Pollution Control Board is party of that. And generally, city-specific action plan is prepared for the 65 cities which I mentioned as non-attendance cities. For that, 11 have been taken so far. And this is the steering committee for that is chaired by Chief Secretary. And when the Chief Secretary is chairing that, those steering committee, in which all the Environment Secretary, Industry Secretary, Power Secretary, and Urban Development Secretary, all are present, I think a very integrated approach is taken for implementation of the action plan. And generally, the State Department of Environment and the State Pollution Control Board are the nodal group who are implementing those action plans.
Thank you, sir. I think before answering the question, if you allow me 5 minutes, then things will be clear, many things will be clear to you. Professor Ansari, Dr. Sen Gupta, and the organizers. Dr. Sen Gupta has covered a lot and given you a whole issue of the air pollution. But a brief inputs I also likely to let you know so that there will be more clarification. See, setting of standard is a process in the India that goes, now it is governed by National Environment Policy 2006. Once Central Pollution Control Board identifies a problem that we require a standard in this field or we require revision of standard, it is given to a consultant. It could be any IIT, it could be leading CSIR laboratory, a private consultant, or many times CPCB also take in-house studies. After those in-house studies, then in-house presentations are made in the CPCB. After firming of the proposal, it goes to the peer and core committee. There is a peer and core committee in the Central Pollution Control Board. And it's not that such proposal, even the study has been undertaken by the Central Pollution Control Board himself. Findings many times peer and core committee say no further inputs are required. After those clearance by the peer and core committee, and you see the members include professors, ex-professors from IITs, JNU, leading institutes, and leading directors of public sector undertaking, retired and new one. So it's a whole complete process. Then after clearance by such peer and core committee, it goes to CPCB board. At times, board also requires certain clarifications, and once it is cleared by that CPCB board, it goes to the ministry. In ministry also, we have a broad-based committee that is known as expert committee to evolve environmental standards. And in that committee, now we have social scientist, economist, a professor from D School of Economics is there, a social scientist is there, then expert from National Institute of Occupational Health, Ahmedabad. So it's a, and they ask such probing questions. What is the cost? What is the societal cost? There is a concept has come, societal cost. If we fix say 100 parameter, what is likely to societal cost? If you reduce by 150, then what are the societal costs vis-a-vis gain of the industry, gain of the environment? So then going through this process, then after the approval of the minister, honorable minister, the standards are notified. So see the how much exercise is going through, and then revision of standard, and then we give 1 year time for implementation of the standards, unless I will say that it is immediately to be complied with by the industry. So this is the process of setting of standards. Now, while Dr. Sen Gupta was delivering his lecture, then Ms. Agarwal sahab bataya ki that you wanted to know what is the, how the monitoring is to be done, what to be done. Dr. Sen Gupta has also explained, but let me tell you that roadmap is being drawn in this regard by the Central Pollution Control Board, considering all aspects, physical, financial, availability of manpower, infrastructure, all those things, that what parameter required to be monitored in which city. We have now almost 369 stations, manual stations, and 33 continuous stations were operating across the country. Now, through those stations, generally we are monitoring 3 parameters on this manual stations, and we are monitoring 8 or 9 parameters on the continuous monitoring stations. Now, what frequency? Because we have mentioned already 104 readings. 104 readings, 24 hours. Then how many stations we will monitor PM10? How many stations we will monitor PM2.5? You see, if you go through the WHO guidelines, they say 4: sulfur dioxide, NOx, ozone, and particulate matter. These are the criteria pollutants. Particulate matter includes PM10 and PM2.5. Now, if both are to be monitored, if the resources are available, see, at times we are monitoring water quality at the national level, and we are in the process of introducing noise monitoring network across the country. Honorable Minister for the Environment Forest has announced this on 14th January, that by September 2010, there will be 70 noise monitoring stations in 7 cities to begin with. So, how much budget? And then what are our objectives? You see, somebody claims that we have to protect environmental health, that's why we should, public health, so we should control, or we should improve the environmental conditions. It's not public health and the physical infrastructure, but environmental control, means maintenance, restoration of environmental quality itself is a issue. That is, besides the public health is also required to be improved. Public health required to be taken care of. Environmental quality is also required to be taken care of. And recently, say, in the light of Commonwealth Games in Delhi, now government is in the process of forecasting ambient air quality. MOU has been signed with the government of France, and the system will be working. So these are the few clarifications which I wanted to inform you. And a question was asked about this air quality management plan in the city. So recently, Ministry of Environment and CPCB, we visited the Varanasi. Varanasi is one of the cities where 16 cities apart from Delhi, including Delhi, there are 17 cities where ambient air quality improvement programs are there under the order of Honorable Supreme Court. So we went there, and under the chairmanship of Divisional Commissioner, a meeting was held. All the stakeholders means even the company which are selling vehicles, they were also invited. Then oil companies, railways, industry departments, and then what are the targets, what is the requirement, and how to achieve them. So we found that for certain issues, not much is required to be done. And so, and that will help. Say even sweeping of roads, removing of the dust. You see, resuspension of the dust in the urban environment is one of the issues. You see the roadside, central verge and footpath, a lot of dust is there. So if we sweep that every day, or then in Varanasi, the divisional commissioner said we will wash also footpaths. If the washing of footpaths is taking place even once in a month, a lot of improvement in ambient air quality will be seen. So there are certain small intervention will help and like a big way. And now you can, because after this my clarification, you wish to pose a question, you do so, Dr. Sen Gupta and me, and we will try to answer your question. Thank you.
How local bodies can play a significant role in control of the air pollution?
Local bodies. Sir, local bodies, say local body include municipality. It includes development like Ghaziabad Development Authority, and land use is a part of local body. So in that case, public transport is also operated by local bodies. So it's not scavenging. Then relocation of industry, say master plan is there, like in Gurgaon master plan is coming up, Faridabad master plan, Delhi master plan. So the master plan is also rest with the local authorities. Once in master plan, it is said that industrial areas will be defined. Industries will not be allowed to locate here and there. One issue. Second, only air pollution industry will be allowed, air polluting industry, or water polluting industry will be allowed, or only clean industry will be allowed. There is a policy matter with the industry department and the local bodies. Then public transport per se is the biggest issue. Then the scavenging, maintenance of the roads, footpaths. So all those are the, like in Varanasi, what we have seen, that there are some sheds where this buffaloes are reared, and their cow dung is lying on the roadside, and High Court has issued the orders. If those orders are implemented on the war footing, then automatically dust level will be under control in that area. So this local authority is one of the major stakeholder, major player in improving the ambient air quality.
After notification of this new standard, I got a number of phone calls from some of the NGOs, and they kept on asking to me that mercury was there in the list. All of a sudden, this mercury has been removed. The power scenario of the country indicates very clearly that times to come, the more and more thermal power plants, more new plants, more expansion of the projects, mercury emissions are there, at least the government bodies are aware. Then how come this power ministry or the power sector is able to manage that the mercury has gone out and other things remains there? So what kind of the answer you have, and what kind of the answer I may require to give to these kind of the NGOs as well? Number of public concerned, they are also raised these type of questions. Some questions we got from the Renuput area, some questions from the Korwa area, and your views may be required. Some people are sitting here from that area. I think that information may be meaningful.
Thank you, Dr. Saab. Mercury. You let me know in which country mercury is being monitored as parameter of ambient air quality. Not even none. EU does not have that as a parameter. So, on experimental basis, Central Pollution Control Board took the initiatives and we started monitoring of mercury through an NGO in Singrauli area. Database is limited, one thing. Second thing, monitoring of vapor phase mercury is not there. Instrumentation not available. Now, these two things. Third is, one cannot be judge of his own cause. You are monitoring that ambient air. You say you set up the standards. There should be sufficient database available for that. Fourth, what is the source of? We expect in Singrauli, it is the thermal power plant. There is also a mercury-based cell technology, that soda ash plant, caustic chlorine plant. And as per international protocol and other things, we are in the process of shifting manufacturing of caustic chlorine from mercury to electrolysis base by 2012 or so. And under CRAP, we still have a strict schedule. I think by 2011 December, we will be converting our mercury cell to the electrolysis process. So, given in the circumstances, then in the wisdom of the committee decided that mercury per se is not required, and setting of ambient standards is a ongoing process. It is a dynamic process, not a static process. We have started 82, 84, 94, 97, 98 we revised. Now we have again revised in 2009, and even WHO, they are also doing every 5 years. Let's have further feedbacks available across the globe. We are not restricting only to one database and one NGO. We are following that in consonance with the global best practices. These standards have been notified, revised and notified. I hope I clarified your issue. Thank you.
Also, there may be questions that we can give. Your views are maybe true and they can be percolate to the people who are raising these kind of the issues. But definitely this is not based on the one NGO only. There are basically some studies carried out by the Central Pollution Control Board. Monitorings have been carried out. But because national ambient air quality standard, I can say that for entire country one can forget it. But definitely these parameter monitoring for the thermal power plants maybe give a good database for some decisions to be taken in future.
See, in standards, for mercury the standards are not there. In thermal power emissions, we are not giving the source specific standard, both has to match. You see, somebody comes up with a monitoring that this mercury is available in the ambient air, from where it is coming? Are we able to monitor the standards, where the control measures are required? And across, it's not that mercury is available only in Indian coal.
Is also there other coals.
Is other coals, and none of the country across the globe has introduced mercury as a parameter in ambient air.
Good afternoon, sir. As per CRP for thermal power sector, CPCB is supposed to publish guidelines for mercury monitoring and all. By what time will it be published? Any idea?
Yes, under CRP, CPCB has to come out a monitoring guidelines for mercury. It is already available. You are asked for monitoring guidelines, na? Yes. Oh, both emission monitoring as well as the ambient air quality monitoring guidelines for mercury, both for the particular phase and vapor phase, are available with CPCB. In fact, CPCB is already monitoring in the critically polluted area the mercury in source. For example, a power plant, CPCB is monitoring the emission, monitoring in the water ash, monitoring in the fly ash, doing material balance, as well as in ambient air, like in Singrauli.